Everything you see on the news, every politician that speaks, they're using something called neuro-linguistic programming language. And I guarantee you that they are hypnotizing you. They are instilling beliefs, whether you like it or not. So choose what beliefs you have instilled in you. A thing that I'd like to just kind of circle back with is we talk in this podcast a lot about energy. And the way that I see this is in your subconscious mind is where your energy comes from. And so I wrote down like your subconscious is your energy driver. If your subconscious is running on fear, worry, anger, those types of things, it's creating your belief system, which is what you have to do, what you should do, what you must do, all those things that somebody else put into your mind. And then you're taking action. And it's not aligned action to your best interest and your highest good. You can reprogram your belief system, which then shows you, tells you what you want to do, what lights you up, what's going to be in your best interest, what's your highest self telling you to do.
Welcome to another episode of Remember You. And today we are doing things a little more structured because we keep talking about our favorite topic lately, which is hypnosis. And this episode is kind of a hypnosis 101. What is the actual definition of it? How can you use it? What are the misconceptions and maybe just the subcategories that exist around hypnosis? And hopefully you can get lots of value from this and see maybe if hypnosis is a tool that can help you bust through any negative beliefs or limiting patterns, anything like that. And ultimately, too, you don't always have to see a practitioner for hypnosis. You can learn how to hypnotize yourself. So tune in today to learn all about hypnosis from a very 101 perspective, and maybe even some client stories from Christina and I, and even Justin, who's done a variety of hypnosis sessions as well. So to kick things off, I would like to ask you, Christina, what your definition of hypnosis is.
My definition of hypnosis is the ability to reprogram your subconscious mind to have different beliefs, thoughts, and feelings.
Amazing. What's your, before you guys got into this podcast and we started talking about hypnosis all the time, what was your perception or idea of what hypnosis is? Or maybe even you have your own definition.
I always thought that you were so controlled and put under some kind of spell to be controlled. And so why would anyone want to do that? But it's interesting what you guys can share about what it really is and what it can actually do for people.
So glad you said that. Very common misconception. Well, actually, it could be go either way, right? So there's truth to that in certain aspects, but it's all about the practitioner that you work with. Before I go too far past it, what is your idea or definition of what hypnosis is? Justin?
A trance state, like a focused state of mind.
Okay, perfect. So my definition here that I wrote down that I like the most is a state of heightened focus and suggestibility. So it's like a bridge between your conscious thoughts and your subconscious programming. So a really great example to break this down is that you are in trance all day, different times a day, all the time, and you don't even realize it. Mm-hmm. So the scariest one, which we all do, guilty, is you'll be driving home from work, you're on the highway, you don't even know how you got home because your mind's thinking of other things, but your body's on autopilot, knows how to drive the car. That is a format of hypnosis. It's even called highway hypnosis. And they warn you about it when you're taking your driver's ed test. Make sure you're always paying attention. But that is essentially the perfect example of what going into a trance-like state is. You're just totally focused and at this totally different state of mind, not fully aware of what's going on around you. So the reason why hypnosis is so powerful, if you're using it in ways that are empowering, is that your subconscious mind is running the show with all of your behaviors. So your subconscious mind takes down information, even from when you were, mostly starting in your childhood. Whatever your parents told you their belief systems were, that got into your subconscious mind and ingrained itself into how you view the world.
Yeah, and I like to give an example on
Yeah,
this
please.
one. So my best example of how your parents hypnotized you negatively is, let's say the child who was 3 years old, she's playing on the carpet with, and a huge tarantula comes running down the carpet. And she's petting it and loving it. And the mom comes in from the kitchen and she starts screaming and saying, "Get away from that tarantula, you're going to die." And then she stomps on it. And you have now been hypnotized in a state of fear. Now it was to protect you, and it served a purpose in that time. But then as you grow up and that child grows up, now she runs out of her room when any spider comes into the room and can't function and is screaming for help. And now that belief system no longer serves you. Okay, keep going.
No, that's way better. I like that. It's way more fun.
I want to connect this to Halloween then. Think about Halloween for little kids that have no conception or past life about why Halloween is exciting to adults today. Like, a little kid is not coming from that frame of reference. So they're coming up and now they're saying Halloween is fun and dress as a scary character and there's scary people all around you. How traumatizing is that for a kid? We don't think about that.
No.
And the same thing with Santa Claus, and then finding out he's a fictional character. Then
I will
the
never
trauma
forget when I found that out. It's so hilarious, but it's like, that is such a great example, specifically with Santa Claus. I remember when my parents were like, "Yeah, like that's not real. You didn't know," and it was like. Like, it was like shattered. I was just like, "What do you mean?" They're like, I'm like, "Who's putting the presents there?" I was like, you just like fucked my whole mind up. But it's a perfect example of like how like belief systems can be installed, if you will, into your subconscious mind, and why it's so important to get your mind in control of your own mind and your own thoughts. So you looked like you were going to say something.
No, I was just going to say it's another form of hypnosis, right? I mean, that's all this is. It's like we instill these beliefs. We're creating this magic. We had a conversation about this, and then we rip the magic out at some point. And now the belief system's shattered, and through hypnosis, we do it in a more pointed way that doesn't hurt the person. It helps them.
Yes.
Good way to put it.
Exactly. Do you want to, what has your experience been with hypnosis so far?
Yeah,
Because you are newly kind of stepping into doing, your own hypnosis sessions as a practitioner. And to give our listeners a quick rundown, myself, Hope, Shay, and also Christina, we are hypnotists. We work with clients one-on-one, do group sessions, and finish training in all these different modalities. And Justin has been super into all this information for years and years and years. And more recently started working as a practitioner, but in a very different format of like not clinical hypnosis, but
it's
spiritual hypnosis.
spiritual.
QHHT,
Yeah, QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis technique. And this is where you basically, I love how you put our definition of hypnosis being trance, plus I put subconscious access, or being able to access the subconscious. And that's what it has been for my experience, is understanding when you put somebody through, get them into a hypnotic state where they're more suggestible or they're more open, they remove the beta brain, the program starts to leave. And now the truth really starts to reveal itself. So now they're not questioning their imagination. They're truly embodying it. They're experiencing it as if it's actually happening. It's like the screen of the mind is brighter and clearer and more Dolby surround sound and more immersive than as if you were just to kind of think about it in the car. Right?
Totally.
So,
And to add really quickly to that, that is actually called, with hypnosis, you are quieting the critical factor, which is your conscious mind. And your conscious mind, which is the one that's like doing all these words that are coming out of my mouth, is the gatekeeper to your subconscious mind. And that gatekeeper is strong.
yes.
And will hold the keys before you get in. And that's why having a great practitioner like Justin, Christina, or myself, it takes time. It takes time to build trust with your clients to really help them fully relax in a safe and totally protected environment so that you can work together to quiet that critical factor and then experience what you're saying, this Dolby surround sound, your imagination going kind of, or some of my clients are like, I like going to La La Land and do, all the amazing things.
the thing, like my experience being both through the hypnosis process as a patient or a client, but also being a practitioner in it has been the trust factor, like being able to trust the practitioner and have a safe space.
Building rapport.
Because, and having gone through it yourself, you understand the process and all the variances that occur in a hypnosis session where what they're going through is not anything wrong. It's everybody's a little bit different in how they perceive or project or reflect on things. So trust is really a big part.
And that was what my struggle was with doing this hypnosis, is deciding whether I trusted someone. But then I had to realize I had to trust myself to discern, should I do this for me? And that's where the trust comes in, because you trust yourself, you could trust another, right? So that's how I was able to do it, because I wanted growth. And I knew I can decide that this was okay for me to do.
That's where I have a lot of people, I'm sure you all come across people who are like, couldn't even touch it with a 10-foot pole. Like they don't want to go through hypnosis. And I find it like it's a lack of control or the fear.
I mean, people tell me, get that voodoo magic away from me. Like there is like such a world where there's a negative perception of it because it can, like it's a tool that could be used in negative ways.
Unfortunately, what everybody listening needs to understand is that you're being hypnotized whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So choose to be hypnotized in your best interest instead of being an unknown participant. Everything you see on the news, every politician that speaks, they're using something called neuro-linguistic programming language, and I guarantee you that they are hypnotizing you. They are instilling beliefs whether you like it or not. So choose what beliefs you have instilled in you. A thing that I'd like to just kind of circle back with is we talk in this podcast a lot about energy. And the way that I see this is in your subconscious mind is where your energy comes from. And so I wrote down like your subconscious is your energy driver. If your subconscious is running on fear, worry, anger, those types of things, it's creating your belief system, which is what you have to do, what you should do, what you must do, all those things that somebody else put into your mind. And then you're taking action. And it's not aligned action to your best interest and your highest good. And so when you choose to go into whether it's self-hypnosis, which I can't wait for Justin to take us through, and Hope and I have lots of opportunity to do it too. But you can then reprogram your belief system. You can backtrack it a little bit. You can reprogram your belief system, which then shows you, tells you what you want to do, what lights you up, what's going to be in your best interest, what's your highest self telling you to do. And then you're reprogramming your subconscious, which raises your energy level and you start to function on a love, a hope, an alignment type work. And you are then going backwards and taking aligned action for the best interest of your life and all of the people around you.
And so I think we should go back to or touch on why we as a society have fears about hypnosis. We've been bombarded with what hypnosis is someone can put you under and control what you do or say or do next. And there's even, I think you mentioned Hope or someone did in this group, MK Ultra programming. You can control someone maybe to kill someone under hypnosis.
Yep.
So I don't know if you guys can discuss that.
So let's go to that. Because I've talked about that, and I don't know, maybe you can look up who actually did this, but there was a study that was done on how do you get into somebody's belief systems and hypnotize them, but you're basically like using their belief system to get them to kill somebody. And so this study was about somebody who they used this person's belief system on what was good or bad, right or wrong. And at what point they figured out when he was able to justify in his head because he had military experience, he was in the Marines, and he was a trained killer, right? And so they were able to get underneath his belief system and say, well, you're fighting for the right side. You're fighting for the left or the right or whatever. And this person went and did this X, Y, Z, and they were able to have him go out and kill people. Well, how do you think that, I'm going to actually ask you this. How do you think that we get our Marines and our Army
Right.
and our military to go out and kill other people.
Exactly what I was
Fighting
thinking.
for their beliefs.
Right. The power of being put under hypnosis and us not realizing what we're being bombarded with, like in their training on a daily basis of what the mission is, what we're doing this for, is doing that. So they're under hypnosis in their military training to get ready for war. So if they can do that on that scale, what are they doing to the nation on the scale they're doing it to with movies, everything on social media, everything on the TV?
Yep.
It's insane.
And choose what you're listening to. Choose what hypnotizes you. You are in control. You can practice self-hypnosis. You can choose what your beliefs are. And it goes back to our last episode about staying neutral and understanding like there is a far right, there is a far left. You don't have to be on either side of those belief systems. You can choose to be in the middle and be able to see both sides. And yeah, you have a little bit of a roller coaster that comes and goes because that's human. Just it's what your choice ends up being and how you want to choose to program yourself.
Yes. And I would love to disrupt the flow of where that is going to, because I don't want anyone to feel afraid of
That's the point.
the practice of like what we're talking about here. Because really, ultimately, hypnosis, why it's so powerful is it's helping you understand how much control you actually have about how you behave and how you show up. And it's actually the opposite. It's not a loss of control. It's heightened awareness and using a trusted practitioner to like help you create the results that you want to achieve. And so to bring it back to even more just like how this is happening in your brain, you brought this up, which is really great, is ultimately when you get into that meditative state, you're moving from, when you're in day-to-day life, you're in beta brainwave state. So it's like go, 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 fully conscious, your critical faculty is like driving the show. And then when you get into that relaxed state, you're dropping into your theta, alpha and theta brainwave state. And that's where, some people even just describe it simply as flow state. And you're able to be receptive using emotions, creativity, and imagination to reinforce or reinstill belief systems that are useful to you. And this can be, we don't even need to make it as deep as belief systems. It's, hey, I would like to not crave sweets as much. And so you could work with your hypnotist, get you into that relaxed state. And it wouldn't say you're never going to want sweets. It's, I naturally crave healthy and nourishing foods. And it's just putting your mind into a different energetic direction. It's giving your subconscious a better job to do because it's always going to be working whether you like it or not. So just wanted to bring it back to, go ahead.
And I was going to say, this is what affirmations are all about.
Exactly.
Like when we're just, the difference is when you actually schedule a session and are intentional and kind of give up the need to control certain things and allow yourself to just get very focused or in tune or in touch and relax or surrender to allow this flow state to occur, you're much more susceptible to accepting these things that you're giving permission and having trust within the practitioner to help instill within you.
Totally. And I think though, what's even more awesome about this topic is kind of going back to what you said, is that you're being hypnotized whether you like it or not. So it's like learning about hypnosis and how your subconscious mind works is valuable to every single person. Even if you never call a hypnotist, you never go through a hypnotherapy session in your life, it's already happening.
Right.
Yes.
Being hypnotized on a daily basis. So choose.
So, but having the consciousness of what it is allows you to not be impacted by it as intensely, or to like realize, oh, this is happening and I don't have to like choose to like believe that.
And I think it's so on a level of like, okay, we understand what hypnosis is. Now take it to the next level. There's so many ways that you can use this, right? So there's ability, like I just got certified, another level of certification for hypnobirthing. And what I do is work with women who want a certain birth plan. And maybe it's natural where they don't want to have an epidural or whatever. And I was able to help a mother through that. And she was able to have a natural birth. There's other women who are like, no, I want an epidural. That you can still go through a hypnosis session or the hypnobirthing process so that you bring the child in whatever way you choose, but you bring them in a calm, trauma-free way. And it's facilitating, though. Hypnosis is facilitating whatever it is that you want to create in your life.
And the whole thing is understanding, why does a woman say, I want an epidural? Women are made to be able to give birth, right? So maybe we need to understand, why do we say epidural? Why do we think we can't give birth naturally? Why hypnosis, or just learning why we do this?
Well, and so that's a great point, because a woman's body is made for this. And part of understanding is that what we have been programmed to believe is pain in childbirth is actually discomfort. And we are wonderful beings that can disassociate from that discomfort when we choose to do so. Now, I posted on my social media about how proud I was that I was able to get certified, work with a mother who had a natural birth. And I had some people comment, what is this going to be, a natural birth versus an epidural? Is this a working mom versus a stay-at-home mom? So their belief system started coming into it, right? And so I'm not here to dictate what you need to believe. I'm here to facilitate whatever change and opportunity you want for a more conscious, loving life.
So it's awareness, because there are women that want to naturally give birth without being in a hospital bed, unnaturally laying back, making it difficult to give birth in that position, as opposed to a person that could go through hypnobirthing if they want to do this naturally, which is not wrong either. So it's
right.
The level of awareness of each woman, and we're not going to criticize each. If you want a natural birth and you want to do hypnobirthing, allow someone to do that. If you want your epidural because that's what you believe is the way to do it, and just let us all do what we want to do.
So it's the way to like bridge all this together and say, what's the overall necessity in order to change your belief or optimize your frame of mind to be hypnotized, to program for more peace, more health, more wealth, more of all the things that prosperity. We want to program intentionally for all those things. You have to have an open mind. And it's if your mind is closed, it's like a parachute. It's not going to work. So you have to be willing to be open-minded and allow things you have to allow the process to unfold. And I relate to what you're talking about with the pregnancies, and like what it should be is a peaceful and beautiful process, but it's that we're so constricted and so tight and so hard on ourselves that it just makes everything else harder. I just had a client, his wife just had a baby girl, and he's like, she's the calmest, most like peaceful person, and literally the baby just shot out. Like it was just like a calf. Like it just came out, no pain, just literally release, and he had to catch it. And it was just like this process that was so ease and at peace. And it's like, that does exist. But then there's also a belief, well, that's not me. And there's hypnosis can dig into the underlying where the constriction is and where the blockage and the block of flow is, to reveal things that you may not even know are connected to the very problems you're having.
Yes. And the other part of hypnosis is there's like what you do is past life regression, right? But there's also age regression, that you can go back and rewire your memories and your feelings so that all our memories are our feelings. We actually don't remember, like we don't have like a film that we're replaying in our mind. We're actually just replaying the feeling of whatever that memory was. And based on how we're feeling today, and we go back and think about a memory, that memory might slightly change because I'm in a happy state today. But tomorrow when I'm frustrated, that I could think of that same memory and I'll have a different feeling towards it. And so hypnosis can help when you have a really great practitioner to work with you on rewiring that feeling from that specific memory as an observer instead of a participant.
Yeah, so it separates you from it. So now it's not so polarizing or traumatic. Now you can look at it kind of like you're watching the TV and go, it's nothing personal.
That's right.
It's attached.
I'll give a personal example. So when I was going through and getting my hypnosis license and certification, we went back and did some age regression on me, and it was probably the most powerful session I've ever had. And I always carried with me that I wasn't smart enough. And I came to realize that I was smart enough, but it's kind of like what you talked about in one of our other episodes, that I had to go to a place when I was in my reading in school and realized that my teacher was telling me that I was stupid. And I carried that on throughout my whole life. And when I was able to finally release that, just like a year ago, right? Mm-hmm. It has helped me realize that I am smart and I do add a lot of value, but I had to go back and rewire that memory. And I know we're almost at time. So
no, that's great. And I think that's actually an amazing place to even expand a little bit more on. And just knowing that first before even getting into hypnosis is, again, we've talked about this multiple times. Your friend Alana even talked about this. It's like auditing what your beliefs about yourself really are. And some of your beliefs are probably amazing and they're great and they're helping you, but there are probably also some that are actually holding you back, and realizing that it's literally just a belief system. And how to even begin identifying that, I think maybe a go around of how you would identify if you are having a negative belief system, and then we'll close out. Go.
How am I having it?
How would you identify for yourself? How do you know it's like?
When it just pops up in my head, I guess, and I have to reassess, why do I just flip it? I guess I like doing subliminals to flip stuff.
Yes.
Because it's less argument in the head about it. No discussion, just do it. So yeah, I have to just be aware of my thoughts.
Okay. So if you start having thoughts that are like just in general negative or unhelpful, you're just like, no, I don't do that. Stop.
Yeah, I have to stop it.
Okay. That's an amazing and most efficient way, probably. What about you?
It's kind of like results. If you're getting an outcome that is not desired, then I started asking myself, what would I have to believe in order to create this result?
Okay.
So,
ooh, love that.
Reverse engineer it and go, okay, what would I have to believe in order to, let's just say somebody cuts me off in traffic and it's frustrating or it angers me. What would I have to believe in order to create that situation or that experience? I would have to believe that he's doing something to me, that it's personal, that, this is going to hurt me or whatever it is. And then I got to question those beliefs and go, would I really get hurt? Do you really get hurt? What's really going on? And then you start to go pan it back and go very basic. We're an indestructible being. I get into that like really panned out level and it's like, okay, that's really the truth.
Right.
And so that helps to reroute my beliefs.
Amazing.
for me, it's when I'm having a feeling of fear, insecurity, whatever, I ask myself, what is causing this? Where is this coming from? And I get in touch with it, figure it out. Usually it's a past trauma, and I rewire that. But I've had training to do it.
Totally. I would say, yeah, before becoming a hypnotist, I would say for me, it's not just a negative thought. It's like thoughts that are like, they seem to have like, it's like a pattern, where it's like one person, place, or thing that's even relatively familiar or like similar creates these similar negative feelings that are like, it's like every time I go, experience a situation, I always think this, and it always makes me feel bad about myself, but there's no truth in any of it. And nothing bad has ever happened. It's just this weird belief system. It's like a complete narrative that's made up in my mind. And so for me, it's when it's like, it shows up for more than once. And it's like a frequent thing, and it's unhelpful. And then I realize, oh, like this is just some story. I don't even care where it came from half the time. I just like know that it's like, okay, that's what it is. And then take myself through like my own hypnosis process or call Christina and I'm like, please help me. But that's a great way to start, I think.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, great rapid round of Hypnosis 101. Any closing thoughts?
You've been hypnotized.
I love that. And if you're interested in hypnosis and you want to experience it, we actually are going to be launching a few group programs coming up in this fall season, or you can reach out to myself or Christina or Justin for a one-on-one session. We'd love to help you out and introduce you to the magic and power of hypnosis.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of Remember You. Remember, we love you.